All right, and it looks like they are off. So immediately it doesn't look like they've... Actually, it does look like they have given out some of their picks for the others. So Ponk has chosen row 3 for Rumble, and Rumble has chosen row 4 for Ponk. So those it looks like Ponk is forcing Rumble to fully explore the wreck ship, which wastes a ton of time, go finish in Metal Pirates, and also forcing him to skip Wave Beam or Charge Beam, and also collect Spring Ball or defeat Dragon. So Ponk is forcing Rumble to go all over the world. So let's see what Rumble has given to Ponk. So he's given him defeat Crocomire, finish in Wreck Ship, Energy Tank, collect all 4 Norther Energy Tanks, Criteria Map, and visit the Critters. So that one is going to force him to force Ponk to kill Ridley. It's also going to force him to basically clear out Wreck Ship. And also, yeah, those are really the 2 worst things in that one. The other ones are somewhat on the way. Crocomire is a bit out of the way, though. And also the Critters, because you have to head all the way back up.
Well, it definitely involves beating Ridley and collecting in order to collect the tanks of Lower Norfair. Really looks too much that's particularly big that's required.
It looks like Punk's 3 might have cut out just a bit, so hopefully he'll come back online just a bit.
While Rumbleminze is heading down, climb to and start exploring the planet to done.
So the start of a dab race is actually very similar to the start of an any percent race, because the only route deviation you could do would have to be going back up the elevator and going back down and heading to the right room to get the first E-tank, or if you don't want to just, if we don't care about the E-tank and just want the missile in air, just going right instead of going back to the left and up the elevator. So Rumble going and grabbing his missiles. And we're going to see if he decides to head back up.
This is 1/15th of one of Rumble's required goals.
Oh yeah, that is very true. So it looks like he's not going to be heading to the right room to grab the missile pack. Understandable, because it's not in many of his goals. He does have the row in column 3 or row 1 if he wants to get the 40 plus Brinstar missiles, though.
Yeah, with all the exploration that's going to be needed to accomplish the other goals, 75 missiles isn't too bad.
Also, did you catch earlier, did Rumble actually use Moonfall to go down to the Moonfall and decline? I didn't catch if he's using Moonwalk or not.
I don't think that Rumble used Moonfall.
Alright.
collect bombs. Bull has full health here, so that will help in getting the needs to deal with Bomb Chorizo quickly.
So one of the most important things in double anti-bingo is actually being able to route on the fly, because the entire point of double anti-bingo is seeing how the player can adapt to different situations, because for this, you don't have to kill Mother Brain, you can do other things as well. So there's a finishing in one of these tiles is finished in Wreck Ship Energy Tank Room, and he's gonna, if he decides to do that, he won't have to kill Mother Brain. In fact, you don't usually see people killing Mother Brain in double anti-bingo because it's not actually a requirement in any of the tiles, except if you decide you want to visit the critters and visit the animals right before the planet explodes.
There's the first box that Rumble is marking off. That will be Terria Map Station. Chat points out that there's another square for that criteria map station satisfies, so there we go. And Rumble's heading down into Brinstar to...
So with the setup, I'm actually kind of curious which row or column Rumble is going to be using. I imagine he's going to be using column 4. Also, it looks like Ponk is back on stream.
It's that mock ball across for early supers. Rumble's grabbing some missiles, just like Ponk just did.
And Ponk actually missing out on a really cool mock ball. It's really difficult, so I don't blame him.
Rumble getting the reverse mock ball.
That is very nice. It's always good to see a runner get that trick in a run. So one thing I'm actually curious about is whether or not Ponk got the criteria map station.
According to chat, the answer is yes.
Well, I mean for Ponk, because the only issue is that he wasn't actually on stream when it happened, so we don't know.
Rumble continuing to collect some missiles.
So it looks like column 4, if Ponk or Rumble decides to go for it, would definitely be an early wreck ship route, because collecting only one Avaria suit or Gravity suit would basically force the person to CWJ across moat, because if they collect Very suit, they're not able to do Suitless Meridia effectively. It looks like Ponk is going to be heading down right now. Let's see if Rumble decides to head up, because route divergences are really cool. Alright, and you were right, Stump. Sorry about that. He did get Criteria map.
We got Rumble heading up to bombs and possibly wreck ship.
So we might be able to see if he's just grabbing the power bombs or if he's going up the wreck ship. I hope he's going up the wreck ship because it'd be really cool to see like two runners going in different directions.
Need to fully explore the wreck ship, so going there first makes sense. It not being possible to get all of wreck ship's items without speed booster, it is still possible to get all of wreck ship's map tiles.
No, I've never actually thought of that. And that's pretty interesting because you're able to just head up to the speed booster area even without having speed. Ponk with a very nice quick kill there. We're not going to be seeing the stand-up glitch. And it looks like Rumble might be heading over to save right now.
Headed towards Tune. Without even without Varia, and with that little health, makes sense to.
Yeah, definitely. Especially since this is a race, and dying is definitely not a good option. Because he would have lost maybe 12 minutes had he not saved. Also, it does make sense that Ponk is going down to lower Norfair, or just Norfair right now, because he has to finish in wreck ship energy tank room, and it's not in your best interest to double dip.
And we got.
Sorry.
And we've got Rumble trying to moat.
Looks like he's going for the out of room setup. It gives you a bit more time on the second jump in order to make it. So I'm sorry. Oh, you can go.
Rumble was trying to do that when first jumping over to get the missile, but was a little bit short with the jump.
And you've actually only got 1 frame on the first jump. And if you do the out of room setup, you've got 2 frames on the second jump. I'm really being quite generous with CWJ there. It's not a generous trick at all. And neither is horizontal bomb jump, which you just saw Rumble go for. Horizontal bomb jump and CWJ are very, very difficult to get consistent.
There's one jump, and the second bomb wasn't far enough for that to be a working horizontal bomb jump. Is headed on over towards Bubble Mountain. There's that continuous wall jump.
Very,
Cross the
very
boat
nice.
and can cross the ocean to get to into the wreck ship.
Yeah, that continuous wall jump is very, very annoying. And it didn't take him too long to get it either, so that's very good. Now the thing is Phantoon is very difficult without a various suit because he'll do 40 damage per hit instead of just 20.
Yeah. And here we've got Rumble heading on over to the missiles that are when you haven't turned the power back on yet.
Also, it looks like we're...
Grab those and explore those tiles because that's needed. Fun fact
we're
about
slightly
the
ahead on commentary, so...
interesting fact about the spikes that Rumble was jumping over is that they need power to hurt you.
Yeah, apparently...
getting Phantoon will not hurt.
So, you're always told not to touch sharp objects, but when the power's off, you can do that without getting hurt just fine. Because that makes a lot of sense.
Phantoon fight. With all of these
so
missiles...
it looks like Ponk actually got Wave Beam, so he's not actually able to go for row 3 anymore.
Hopefully we'll be seeing a nice Doppler. Best pattern on the second round. Good number of shots in there.
So it looks like Ponk is going to be heading down to Crocomire now. And that makes sense since it's actually one of his required goals.
And Rumbleminze has beaten Phantoon.
That's very good because Phantoon is definitely a big wall in runs, especially when you have one E-tank. It's pretty difficult.
Now Rumble can get back to exploring the wreck ship. That Rumble's going to be collecting all of these super missiles. Especially as that would contribute to a possible column 4.
So Ponk has collected 2 out of the 4 energy tanks in Norfair right now. The other 2 are actually in lower Norfair, so he's going to have to head down there at some point. So an interesting route divergence might be if he decides to go straight to lower Norfair right now instead of later. I imagine we'll see him do that though, because he's not allowed to get Gravity Suit if he wants to do Column 4. But chances are he's not, so it'd be interesting to see if he decides to go for anything on the top row. Actually can't do Column 4, but if he goes for row 1, or if he's just going to go straight down.
Looks like Rumble is saving. The thing to do before going towards where the E-tank is, because there is spiky death room in between.
Oh yeah, spiky death room is pretty deadly. Looks like Ponk got that really nice short charge, but accidentally gooped the spark.
clipping through a ceiling on the way up towards attic. Seeing how Rumble did not go to where I imagine that he'll be doing so after getting Gravity Suit.
It looks like Ponk is going to be saving right now. Not a bad choice. Because the Namihe's in the lava dive area, which I bet he's doing, and they deal a ton of damage. They'll do I believe 100 damage per hit, and they can easily end your run if you get chained.
Rumble going over to the attic robot room to get those map tiles. The required row that after Rumble gets Gravity Suit, we might be seeing Forgotten Highway.
That is a very big possibility. Also, it looks like Ponk did the bounce ball method, and he got the lava dive very easily first try. So very good for him.
Ooh, that double hit from having that reserve refill happen, though.
Yeah, those double hits are very, very dangerous. I mean, if he had a bit less in his reserve, he would have been dead at that point. It looks like Rumble is actually going to be going for the pretty annoying jumps into the reserve area. Those jumps can be pretty annoying without speed. Looks like he is getting it. The trick with these is you have to morph very early.
Yep, but Rumble is through them and back. You getting those map tiles.
Alright, Ponk is picking up Screw Attack. Doesn't look like it's actually one of the tiles on here, but I imagine he's doing it just to make Lower Norfair a lot easier, because he's going to come up on the red key hunters, and they are very deadly. Also, it is the worst room in the game, so he's not taking any risks.
Yeah, Screw Attack makes that room so much easier to deal with. Oh, we've got Rumble doing a little bit of health farming, which a good running jump to minimize the number of spike hits that are going to be necessary to get across here. It's very nice.
You preferably want to take only 120 damage in that room, but if that requires getting hit by only 2 spikes. If you get hit by 3, he'll take 180. So Ponk got hit by the Namihe there. His health is pretty high, but he definitely needs to be very careful of them.
Right, Rumble's gonna head over to collect those last few in this area.
Yeah, that's the thing about that. I don't know if he grabbed any of the reserve tanks for row 5. I mean, you have to turn them off, or turn them on to manual, and I'm not sure he did that.
And there are those map tiles. be Gravity Suit. One away from completing column 4. Just as I thought, heading back in with Gravity Suit to complete this, death and over to where the E-Tank is with the help of Gravity Suit.
Now that is a very wise choice, not heading over to Spiky Death early, because first of all, it would require a pretty precise bomb jump up, and second of all, without gravity, the enemies in there would basically one-hit kill him.
Many suits, those falling spikes would do 2 full tanks of damage.
And chances are very likely he'd also get reserve, or his reserve tanks would kick in and kill his iframes, and he'll lose his reserve as well.
Okay.
If you were to go in with just a power suit.
I'm making it across, grabbing that E-Tank. The lower tiles of this room now, and that will complete full exploration of the wrecked ship for Rumble.
Alright, Ponk and the Ridley fight now. A bit more risky with a bit less ammunition and more importantly beams, but he runs RBO, so I think he'll be fine in this fight. Ponk is a very good RBO runner, so he knows how to deal with Ridley.
Looks like Rumble is not going to be taking Forgotten Highway. Will instead be Murdia the Murdia missiles will complete column 4. We'll also put Rumble over the 75 towards getting row 3 finished. Missiles is close to Dragon, so that will take care of the beginning of Rumble would then have to do is get down to the middle pirate room.
So looking at the card, it looks like correct, or stop me if you just said this, but Rumble's pick is most likely column 4, which, funny enough, Ponk is unable to do. Alright, so Ridley is most likely dead, or about to be dead now, because Ponk uses last supers, and you usually do that at the very end of the fight. And sure enough, Ridley is down. And with that, he actually finished one of his 4 objectives of collecting all 4 Norfair energy tanks. So now he's only got 2 more force objectives left, visiting the critters and the finishing and wreck ship energy tank room.
Rumble is headed down into Norfair, presumably to collect some items.
So even
either Ice or Speed Booster is going to be needed to get to all of the places in Meridia that need getting to.
So looking at this current card, I'm still not sure about what Ponk is going to do for his chosen row. Unless I just completely missed something. But I highly doubt he wants to head back into Wreck Ship twice if he decides to go there, kill Fantoon, and get Gravity so he can kill Dragon. Because in order to get the Dragon, he'd either have to do a really crazy Crystal Flash clip, or get Ice Beam, which would invalidate row 5, or he would... one moment. He would just get Gravity, and that would require him to go back in Wreck Ship twice if he needs to finish in Wreck Ship Energy Tank.
I have a feeling that going for row 5.
The only thing I see about row 5 is that I don't think he picked up Brinstar Reserve. Unless we just completely missed it.
Would see a reserve symbol next to the E-tanks if that were the case.
I mean, that's what I would think, but he might have turned it off, who knows.
Speed Booster.
So I'm pretty sure he doesn't have the reserve tank. Alright, and there's further confirmation that he did not get the reserve. He also didn't get Norfair Reserve, which would be pretty convenient as it was right there, so
right.
It's very unlikely he's actually doing row 5. Looks like Ponk is going for Alpha Spark.
Now that Rumble has Speed Booster, I think that he's seeing some exploration of Meridia.
Looks like Ponk is going to be heading back to take care of some of the items, and more importantly, the critters here. Alright, so it looks like he's actually going to be collecting these power bombs in here, so I want to say he might be going for column 3. Or also, he could be going for top left to bottom right if he decides to go up the elevator here.
Rumble needing to do a short charge in Meridia Main Street to get the pack of missiles that are...
Yeah. I still don't know which row
missiles are needed.
I don't know which row Ponk would be doing right now, because he's picking up more missiles right now. And the only thing I could think of would be finishing up column 3. That would require him to fully explore Wreck Ship.
Well, there's missiles out of 8.
So he
Jump
is.
up and
So Ponk is going over to collect these power bombs. So I want to say he is doing column 3. Looks like he's getting the setup for Mission Impossible. Or guess not.
well, when only going for power bombs, they help. The power bombs in yes. Oh, or unless you're also visiting the critters.
Alright, so he's visiting to Decora. Let's see if he decides to free to Decora. It looks like he is going for it. And he freed to Decora. He's better at short charging and tasks.
Definitely knows something that we don't about short charging.
A very nice laser door. Not sure who's got sound, but I...
This will be the 5th out of the 8 missiles, and
So... I want to say that once Ponk goes up Red Tower, he'll get his 5 power bomb packs, or all 25 Brainstar power bombs. It doesn't look like he's killing Spore Spawn though, so he isn't going for Row 2. Sorry.
initially realize about getting all 40 Meridian missiles requires going down both sand pits.
Yeah, that is true. You also have to go all the way over to Dragon.
Alright, Buttwoon is down for Rumble. So Rumble can head on over to Missile as well as to Dragon, getting the sea tank along the way. Go for some flavor of Happy. Nice Happy.
So looking at Punk's screen, because he was gone for some time, I couldn't tell if he got all 40 Brainstar missiles. I want to say he probably did though, so I'm just gonna confirm.
Only 2 missile packs now remain for Rumble.
I thought he had 40 Brainstar missiles because he skipped the one behind the power bombs, so as the stream cut out I couldn't tell. So it looks like all he has to do now is... Oh, sorry. He has to just fully explore Wreck Ship and finish in the Wreck Ship energy tank room.
Rumble going for that speed booster kill against Dragon. starting off with two very nice shine sparks that have gotten Dragon very red.
Ponk with a pretty nice ocean fly. However, he has very little health for Phantoon, so he must be very careful. Imagine he's gonna farm some of the atomics down here for a bit of health.
And down goes Dragon. Space jump to make some movement easier.
Because Ponk didn't have any super missiles for the eye door, he actually just had to use normal missiles, which is something you don't usually see in runs. The only category you really see that in is in the low percent categories where you need to have as many supers as possible. Also, Ponk with a very nice fast pattern.
While making it back through Coliseum. And we're seeing some Dopplering from Ponk against Phantoon.
Looks like Rumble is going to be heading over to the sand pits right now.
Rumble has 6 of the 8 missile packs in Meridia right now. The missing ones are the ones that are in these 2 sand pits, of which Rumble is about to get one. Only the other sand pit remains now.
Looks like Phantoon is not being very nice to Ponk right now. But he took down the elephant ghost anyway. So now with Ponk's current goals, it looks like he's gonna just clear up the entire wreck ship and then head over to the E-tank area.
This is an interesting path. I was thinking I would see tunnel. And this works too.
So Ponk not even picking up the supers there because he doesn't need them. He just cares about the map tile.
That space jump is making it easy to... Oh.
So it looks like Ponk actually forgot to go to this area over here with the wreck ship missiles.
Boost.
Yes. Ponk did visit the map room.
Headed down the other sand pit to get the final missile in Meridia. Be a little bit tricky to get to without Spring Ball.
Yeah, definitely. This sand pit was made to have Spring Ball in it, for sure. But he gets that mini Alcatraz just fine.
Is that 40th Meridia missile?
And Ponk gonna have to visit these work robots over here. These work robots are no fun. Looks like he's not going to try and get put through them. He's just going to head through. And since he only cared about the map tile, he didn't need to go all the way to the other end of the missile. Some hundo map strats. Also, because the outside of wreck ship is actually in criteria, he's not actually going to need to grab those map tiles.
I'm trying to think of what 35 missiles Rumble should have.
Looks like he also has 75 missiles, according to chat. So now Ponk has some time to spare watching the bowling cutscene. The bowling cutscene is really slow. So it looks like Ponk actually had a PC crash earlier, which is why he ended up why his stream died very early on. Luckily, he is back with us again.
Headed down towards Lower Warfare. And as Chad is pointing out, Rumble, I definitely remember seeing have more than when entering the Fantoon fight, which means that Rumble does have at least 75 missiles.
Also, was that the golden shower that I just saw? Or
that was an accidental special beam combo due to having power bombs still selected while attempting to charge a pseudo screw to get through lava dive.
Well, as Bob Ross said, there's no such thing as mistakes, only happy accidents. And that was definitely a happy accident.
All Rumble has to do to the metal pirate room.
So it looks like as long as Ponk doesn't actually die in this next room, he should be in. It looks like he's heading over the Forgotten Highway now for some reason. Maybe he wants to help. I mean, I guess I don't blame him. Maybe he's gonna start memeing instead.
Oh, Rumble's closer to those metal pirates.
Oh, he needed missiles to get in.
That would do it. You saw Rumble do a break those blocks just before that morph tunnel.
And with that, Ponk has actually finished with a time of 49:40, so GG.
Here we are with Rumble entering that metal pirate room to finish in second with an official SRL time of 49 minutes and 56 seconds. What a close race.
That was very close. Only a difference of 16 seconds. So GG to both runners. That was a really, really close race there.
I wonder if this is the closest one that's come up so far in this tournament.
Wait, really?
Is
So it looks like the closest time was actually a difference of 17 seconds. So this bopped the first place time by 1 second.
this is a new race in this tournament.
So that is
Definitely.
very, very crazy close. So GG to both of our runners for putting on an awesome race.
Very nice race this was. This is not all for tonight. Now that this one's finished, we will have Scotty McBody versus Cerberus. So that race should be getting set up sometime very soon. Will be on this channel, so don't go anywhere.
And that looks like that's the last race for today. Tomorrow there's going to be some good races, including Stump, who's commentating with me versus Toasty Muffins. So be looking out for that. So
right here for Scotty McBody versus Cerberus.
So definitely follow the runners, follow Stump, my co-commentator, and yeah, just stay here
and of course the runners too.
I'll put the runners in chat. So with that, we're going to be heading out now, and we'll see you all next mission.
Yeah, I'll be dropping off this because the next race will be commentated by Ancient Gamer and Antinomy. But an interesting race between Scotty and Cerberus.